just listened to Natalie, Bennett, and Netanyahu rejecting any idea of ICC trying to arrest any one of them or any Israeli government member. And that is true. They cannot do it. As a written document, yeah, it's done. They have decided at the court to arrest Israeli leadership, which is true. But wait and see if this arrest is going to be done anywhere on this planet. Just watch the video.
The outrageous decision by the ICC prosecutor, Karim Khan, to seek arrest warrants against the democratically elected leaders of Israel is a moral outrage of historic proportions. It will cast an everlasting mark of shame on the international court. Israel is waging a just war against Hamas, a genocidal terrorist organization that perpetrated the worst attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Hamas massacred 1,200 Jews, raped Jewish women, burned Jewish babies, took hundreds hostage. Now, in the face of these horrors, Mr. Khan creates a twisted and false moral equivalence between the leaders of Israel and the henchmen of Hamas. This is like creating a moral equivalence after September 11th between President Bush and Osama bin Laden, or during World War II between FDR and Hitler. What a travesty of justice, what a disgrace. The prosecutor's absurd charges against me and Israel's defense minister are merely an attempt to deny Israel the basic right of self-defense. And I assure you of one thing, this attempt will utterly fail. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were totally defenseless against our enemies. Those days are over. Now the Jewish people have a state, and we have an army to defend our state. Notwithstanding the blood libels Mr. Khan has leveled, Israel will continue to wage this war in full compliance with international law. We will continue to take unprecedented measures to get innocent civilians out of harm's way and to ensure that humanitarian assistance reaches those in need in Gaza. Mr. Khan also sets a dangerous precedent that undermines every democracy's right to defend itself against terror organizations and aggressors. The ICC has no jurisdiction over Israel, and Mr. Khan's actions will not stop us from waging our just war against Hamas. But Mr. Khan's abuse of this authority will turn the ICC into nothing more than a farce. He's doing something else. He is callously pouring gasoline on the fires of anti-Semitism that are raging across the world. Through this incendiary decision, Mr. Khan takes his place among the great anti-Semites in modern times. He now stands alongside those infamous German judges who donned their robes and upheld laws that denied the Jewish people their most basic rights and enabled the Nazis to perpetrate the worst crime in history. 2 weeks ago, on Holocaust Memorial Day, I pledged this: no amount of pressure and no decision in any international forum will prevent Israel from defending itself against those who seek our destruction. To all the enemies of Israel, including their collaborators in The Hague, I renew that pledge today. Israel will wage our war against Hamas until that war is won, because never again is now.
The International Criminal Court is a joke. Imagine a court calling for the arrest of President Harry Truman and Hitler. Sure, one of them committed genocide and the other stopped it. One of them was a dictator and the other democratic. But why on earth should this matter? On October 7th, Hamas tried to kill every Israeli and every Jew it could get. They raped women and they burned babies in their beds. And Israel is fighting back a defensive war against this evil. Shame on anyone who compares the victim and the aggressor. Shame on anyone who compares Israel, a liberal democracy, with a genocidal terror regime. Shame on you. There's one way to deal with this sham, to end it. Defund the ICC. Not one penny. No sane nation should fund this monstrosity, and no sane leader should lend a hand to this crazy hypocrisy. In the name of justice, in the name of common sense and decency, defund the ICC. In the name of 1,200 men, women, children, babies, Holocaust survivors that were slaughtered by Hamas on October 7th, I call on you to defund. The International Court of Justice just gave a green light to every terror organization on earth to go ahead, murder, burn, rape people, and then hide behind innocent civilians. Here's why. In this situation where we have to eradicate Hamas, which is a terror organization, and they're hiding behind their own civilians, there are only three options. The first one is for Israel to go kill Hamas indiscriminately, and then many of the civilians, hundreds of thousands, will die. Just a carpet bomb Gaza, we could have won within 2 days, but clearly we won't do this because it will kill hundreds of thousands of civilians. The second option is to move those civilians away, right? To move them and clear the way so then we can attack Hamas only. That's what we're doing. But today the ICJ said that we can't. And then the third option is do nothing and let Hamas win. So basically, the ICJ just gave a new method of terror where you can kill and get away with it. This is wrong. It must be overturned.
Natalie, Bennett, and Bibi. Yeah, they are not joking. Every word they said over there, they meant it, and it won't happen. What about your leaders? Puppets have no control over their leaders, right? And that is how politics is.